rural developmental activities.
Just a moment. So, thank you to everybody and even to the BAIF people connected. Greetings and namaste from the INRAE Delegation. I'm really happy to be with you today.
Hello.
We'll use mic afterwards. Okay. Otherwise,
So, namaste from France. I say it again. Thank you. And thank you, Bharat. Thank you, everybody. And so happy to be with my colleagues from INRAE on the beautiful campus of BAIF to celebrate our partnership, our friendship, and also our common future. Thank you.
And I also would like to grab the opportunity to welcoming you again, all three of you, for this wonderful event hosted by BAIF Central Research Station, Uruli Kanchan. Yeah. So just in continuation that Manibhai want to establish a system like which will help the farmer to use the natural resources in appropriate way, so that there will be the value addition to the product. At the same time, it will take care for the environment. So 46 to 67, he worked on various activities, and he finalized that unless until we institutionalize this one. So in 1967, he established Bharatiya Industries Foundation. So where now today we are sitting, so it was a barren land, and after 55 years, you can see the change. Next one. So this is the vision of BAIF, building a self-reliant rural society, assured food security, safe drinking water, good health, gender equity, low child mortality, literacy, high moral values, and clean environment. And the mission is to create the opportunities for gainful self-employment, mainly for the disadvantaged section, by using the resources and by using the latest technologies, so that research and development go hand in hand. Next one. So this is the coverage of BAIF. Like we are presently working 14 states, covering around 320 districts, and cover program on resilient and climate actions, which covers our livestock-based program, agriculture, as well as natural resource management, community health, and water-related activities. And at campuses, we have development research, innovation, technologies, and adoption. And it leads every program should lead towards sustainability. So our focus is on that, how we can make it. So you can see we have almost 13 campuses, small and large, in various states. And the total human resource across BAIF, total team is around 6,200. Next. So coming to the campus, so for this campus, we have three-prong approach actually. One is technology scouting, adoption, and how we can disseminate to the farmer level. Second one is produce the input for that particular activity. So production of the critical input and supply to the field program at a very affordable price. And third one is a training and capacity building of the farmer, our own staff, as well as the technocrats from various sectors. So mainly
everything which is important to tested, validated, then taken to the farm.
There is continuous flow of technological inputs from campuses to field. And there is a feedback mechanism where farmers raise their voice, raise their issues, or raise their problems in front of BAIF team, and then they are taken to the campuses for undertaking trials, research, and then again taking back to the communities.
yeah. So mainly research is based on whatever problem we find in the field program. So rather it is campus is developed to tackle the issues in the field, what a farmer is facing. Next one. So you can see the program outreach of various components of our field program, livestock based livelihood, then water centric livelihood, resilient agriculture and climate actions. So you can see in livestock, almost 85,000 villages are covered in 307 districts. So I think next one. So we'll go each sector wise. Yeah. So in livestock development, so first time in the country, Manibhai actually used breeding as an instrument to convert a low product animal to high production animal by using crossbreeding, upgradation of the local breeds, as well as upgradation of the buffalo breeds. And it was started with 1 or 2 centers. And very important thing is that it is a doorstep delivery of the program. And then it is a support for preventive health coverage, vaccination, as well as deworming, and advice for the proper nutrition and better utilization of the agricultural waste or crop residue available with the farmer. And one more aspect of this program, what we are calling is linking with the government program, government schemes. So leveraging on the whatever government schemes available. So you can see the total, like last year, we have almost 55 million inseminations during last year. And GDP contribution is also more than 20,000 crores rupees. Around 2008, 9, after 8, 9, yeah. Yeah, because we have expanded the program in many states and insemination program. So this is a WADI model, a program for human and ecosystem well-being. It's a tree-based farming system approach. And mainly we have started it with the tribal communities. And it has a very good impact on carbon sequestered. So you can see the total impact is 7.2 million tons carbon dioxide, carbon is sequestered through WADI program.
So very quickly, this program, again, very appropriate program. Yeah, sorry. Very appropriate program for the conversion of degraded lands owned by tribal people. And as I was mentioning in the morning, they hold only 1 acre to 2 acres of area, highly degraded, very low productive. Fortunately, these settings, they have very good rainfall. They know how to grow trees, how to rear the plants, and capitalizing on that, this program was promoted basically for tribal people. So 1 acre of land is converted into productive orchards, agro-hortiforestry model. And in the interspaces, the intercrop is also promoted. So the less gestation or low gestation crops, they give immediate benefits within the year to the farming families. And after 4 to 5 years, they get income out of these plants to the extent that they are not required to migrate. Otherwise, every year, at least half of their time, they have to spend outside the village, going to the works for roads, for buildings, so that they earn wages to the extent feeding their families. And with this program, they are able to settle down in the village. And through the program for 5 years, up to the well establishment and the productive stage of the plants, they are paid for the works which they undertake in their own land through the program. So far in our program, we have covered about more than 200,000 families directly by BAIF. NABARD has scaled it up. National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, they have scaled it up. They have taken to almost all the states across country. And they may have Maharashtra and all the other states, all India. And so far, I guess they may have spent 1,000 crores to scale up this program. And this program was highly advocated by President of India, Abdul Kalam, whom the delegation from France they met, and he wrote letters to each and every state departments, all India level, and many state tribal departments, they also promoted this program. And the beauty of this program is this is very environment friendly. In addition to settling down families within their village, it also helps improve the entire ecosystem, plants, then the soil enrichment, carbon sequestration. And because of this, many agencies, international companies, they have been approaching BAIF. Maybe about 4 to 5 companies, they have been approaching BAIF to scale up this program. Primarily, their interest is for carbon sequestration. Our interest is, of course, both carbon sequestration as well as promoting the livelihood of people.
Sorry, just a question. We don't have any INRAE scientists or socioeconomists looking at that. We should present it. It's really interesting for our whole vision about that kind of small farms, sustainable development. Maybe that could be interesting in some part of Africa, and we have a large cooperation program with African countries for agroecological transition with CIRAD also. So maybe CIRAD and IRD are knowing the WADI model. ICARDA, okay, yeah, and we are working. Yeah.
Because most of these cities, they are now have priority in Africa. So.
But something like return of experience of the program, the way it was conceived, the way it was disseminated, the way it will be scaling up, and the impact, the global impact on carbon sequestration, on human being and farmers' incomes, the way they can invest, etc. It's obviously really interesting. And maybe Edmond, we could try to propose at least to some of our colleagues from INRAE, CIRAD, IRD to exchange with you, with the people in charge of that.
Yeah, we'll be happy to extend any knowledge transfer required for taking this program in African countries through you. We'll be happy to do that.
So apart from our family-based intervention like livestock development and WADI, which is a land-based livelihoods, we also have several programs on natural resource management. And these are at a landscape level or area basis, and where we are working on soil water conservation plus treating the landscape, the entire landscape, land restoration. And increasingly, we are also working on now water use efficiency, water energy kind of work efficiency. And also we are working on climate change adaptation and mitigation as a part of this. And there are several pathways that we are trying to adopt, including energy, and where we are working on renewable energy also at a landscape level. Water, energy, and food nexus is something that we are focusing as a part of this.
This program of BAIF also fits very well into land degradation neutrality initiative of UN. And we are also presenting, we are also trying to get ourselves registered for that COP of LDN. And maybe like Wadi, we have been very strongly presenting to our the other COP27, like we presented. Similarly, this LDN COPs, we are planning to promote it strongly for this conservation and degradation control.
Yeah, and we have taken differentiated approach region wise. Like we are also focusing on revival of traditional water harvesting systems. So the different region wise, we are also working on spring rejuvenation, spring shed management, diversion based irrigation, linking of tanks. So region wise, proper approach is undertaken. Next. Please. So women are important partners in our development, and we have whole lot of program focusing on rural women. And the 50% of our population, I mean the target group also is women. So here the focus is on empowerment of women, where we are also focusing on farm women, because in India there is increasingly the feminization of farming, but women don't really have access to technology and knowledge. And therefore what we are trying to create is visibility for farm women, ensure the access and visibility and knowledge transfer and technology transfer. We are also focusing on increased drudgery of women due to climate change and degradation of natural resources. While doing that, we are also considering women as important custodian of knowledge, because they are traditionally involved in agriculture. So they have tremendous amount of traditional knowledge with regards to seed storage, seed processing, agriculture. So that also we are trying to harness. So farm mechanization also something we are focusing to reduce the drudgery of women. And we are working with many women with Government of India partnership also. And many corporates are also supporting women-centric interventions. So in 2010, we started a work on climate change actions, where we tried to ourselves understand whether climate change is real and it is happening. And we conducted assessment at 7 different agroclimatic zones in India. And that included the coastal regions of India, Himalayas, also the desert and drylands. So across these regions, we tried to understand climate change incidents and what is a vulnerability. And based on that, then we decided a response in the form of climate change adaptation. And we are happy to share that our BIOF's project was one project amongst the 6 projects that were funded by Adaptation Fund Board, which is an international funding created under UNFCCC. So that was a project implemented in Himalayas. Apart from that, we are also working on watersheds, where the approach is treating the watershed as a climate proofing. And we are also partnering with various CGIAR institutes, CCAPS, which was a cross-cutting program across CGIAR and CIMIT and BISA. And we were working with them on climate smart village program that is introducing close to 300 villages, where we are taking several approaches like nutrient smart, water smart, carbon smart, institution smart, knowledge smart. So within that, there are combinations of interventions, services, and practices. So this approach, we are planning to scale it up now. Next. Please. So I think we saw today the seed bank also, cold storage, and also we have seen some of the posters, and Dr. Kauthale was explaining about it. So the entire work around participatory agro-biodiversity conservation, we have domain expertise available within BIOF. And here the focus is whatever the native cultivars that are there, be it millet, pulses, oilseeds, and wild vegetables. So we are working on documentation. We are working on the traditional recipes, and we are also working on conservation of those germplasm, collection of germplasm, purity, characterization, and also the conservation in the form of seed banks. And there are these local seed banks also for to facilitate the local level exchanges of seeds. So this is the whole strategy for future research. And many of these during the traits, we have found out very interesting traits of these agrobiodiversity. And these are very useful from climate change adaptation point of view, nutrition point of view, lifestyle disorder point of view. So the whole focus is also on this. Next.
On a pilot scale, women groups in Gujarat, they have established the food outlets prepared out of this indigenous food, indigenous varieties of vegetables and grains. And that is going on very well. So if that happens, if there is good number of consumers, and if there is preparations out of local food, the demand can be generated for, as we were discussing, for millets and the indigenous food, and highly nutritious food can come back into the food chain of the people.
Yeah, and India being like has a diverse agroclimatic zones and biophysical conditions. So different pockets have this immense biodiversity still existing because those have not been reached through green revolution. So that's the native track that we are focusing for in situ conservation. We saw this work on harnessing solar and also biogas we saw in detail. So these are some of the approaches for circularity, green and clean energy options. Yeah, and also distributed renewable energy DRE approaches we are taking up. Next, please. So community health and nutrition and a whole aspect of social behavior change communication, SBCC, is something that we are focusing. So these are quality of life interventions that we are focusing, family centric, village centric and community centric. Here the focus is on WASH and also a lot of interventions for improved health. Here no, we are not into curative health aspect, but promotive and preventive health and also nutrition, where we are focusing on adolescent, pregnant women and 0 to 5 age group children nutrition. Next. We are trying to leverage the digital ecosystem that is there, which has reached in rural areas now. And we have a separate vertical also to leverage this ICT, information communication technology for development. And we are trying to use these several apps that are there. And this is one example of eDost, a cadre of tribal women, where we have given them the app, tablets and or smartphones. And through smartphones, the Aadhaar enabled payment system, the unique ID which government of India has created. And the last mile service delivery of banking is something that they are providing. And e-governance is also something that we are trying through them. So this is a local cadre which is being built, and we are trying to leverage the connectivity and digital ecosystem that has reached into villages now. So a whole lot of applications are possible moving forward. Next, please. Yeah.
So for research and development, mainly we have divided into three main themes like reproduction, genetics, as well as nutrition, and agriculture, mainly based on research on forages. So while moving also, we have seen that frozen semen started in around 72. But before that, we have imported Holstein and Jersey cows to establish a bull mother farm. And then we introduce exotic semen for crossbreeding program. And around that, we have built the research program to study the bull performances, crossbreed performance in the field program, and which exotic inheritance is suitable more for the agronomic conditions. Then we have pilot. Yeah, next we can take. So you can see like these are the different breeds, categories as well as breeds. So total 37 cattle breeds and 10 goat breeds semen we are producing right now and making available to our field program. So depending on the need and requirement of from the field program, we are introducing breeds actually. And that's the reason we have more breeds actually. And the graph is showing the breed categories. Like you can see categorically buffalo demand is increasing year over year. Next. So then we have already seen the 6 audits. So the main idea is that how we can reduce the burden on the farmer by reducing the number of the male animals. Because now, because of the industrialization, use in agriculture is also going to be reduced, and government policies also, they are not used for other purposes. So this is the technology we are using, and I think first time in the country we have piloted through our field network, and we have established that it can work at a very small and marginal farmer level also. Though the cost is a little bit higher and prohibitive in the beginning, but slowly it will pick up in the future. Next. Yeah. So like for improving our herd, actually we have started a MOET program in around 2000 and used for our herd at station. And then that time we also piloted how we can take it to the field program. And simultaneously we have used it for producing the exotic Holstein and Jersey by importing the embryos also. And since 2017 we have started OP-IVF technology, and now the initial results from the field is also very encouraging. For fresh transfer we are getting around 40% pregnancy rate, and uh, the demand from farmers is also there for indigenous breeds as well as crossbreeds. So as per their need and demand, we are producing the embryos and freshly transferring to the field program. So last month, I think we have produced the embryos at Uruli Kanchan, and fresh we carried by flight in Sambalpur and transferred in the recipient in Sambalpur, Odisha. Yeah. So so right from beginning, the program is supported by genetics department. So which is taking care for selection of the animal breeds and what type of breeding we want to promote in station as well as field program. And for that, continuously we have this progeny testing program. So initially it was started by BAIF own, and then it becomes a part of Indian Council of Agriculture Research progeny testing program. Then Kathani breeds of cattle, as well as Sirohi, as well as Bundelkhandi and Balangir goat breeds characterization is done by BAIF as well as NBHR. Then next one is yeah, yeah. So this
Indigenous breed development program is also being implemented by us in 2 or 3 states. We are using promotion of Gir breed in Gujarat and Rajasthan, and Sahiwal breed development program in Uttar Pradesh. So that is those are the 2 major breeds, indigenous breeds, which we are trying to improve and to get excellent bull mothers or the bulls from those areas to use it for further semen collection.
and again to cater the need for the semen, we established one semen station near Delhi, near Jind actually, which is producing semen only from indigenous breeds. And for genomic program, actually, BAIF has established a evaluation system based on the field recording, DNA sampling, as well as phenotype and genotype. And BAIF is a consortia member at national level. Besides BAIF, NDDB, then National Institute of Animal Biotechnology, and NBHR are the partner for devising a genomic selection program for the country. So we have almost 35,000 animals under performance recording for various traits, not only milk production, but milk production, then heat tolerance, then even feed and fodder related also conversion. We are recording each and every animal. And recently we have added even the women preferred trait also in that particular selection criteria. So based on evaluation, we can select the best or elite animals, and which can be multiplied by assisted reproductive technologies, so that we can have a based nucleus herd development at a very faster rate. and which can be used for producing the genetic inputs for the field program. So we have both the ends access actually. That's the beauty with BAIF program. Next. So these are the applications of genomic like selection, proper selection, I think. And one more thing uh, we are focusing on multi-breed and multi-trait genomic selection program. So because countrywide we have large variety of the breeds, so we cannot have a focus on only one breed. So we are trying to fit into an equation so that we can have a multi-breed, multi-trait selection with the same chip. Next. So in animal nutrition, I think we have seen the laboratory, but main focus is how we can use the local available resources and convert into by addition of the supplement to make their more nutritive to the user or the farmer so that he can feed their animals. So right from beginning, various technologies have been developed under our animal nutrition department, and we are producing the feed supplements as well as biofertilizers. And recent addition is that the patented product from Indian Institute of Animal Nutrition and Physiology. It's called Harit Dhara. So it reduces the methane emission by 18 to 20% if you feed daily to the animal. Harit Dhara is a anti-methanogenic product feed supplement developed by the, yeah, it is natural. Patented one. Yeah, so already it's the ICR Institute. ICR Institute. ICAR. Yeah. Next. So we have this good development by selecting some breed characterization work, and then we introduced the breeding by induction of buck. And so we also started goat semen production actually. Next one. So this is a forage crop research. We have already seen that under this ICAR project, as well as we have our own R&D on developing the forage accessions, and 7 varieties actually released by the ICR. So among them 4 from Bajra pearl millet and 3 of Napier hybrid. So we are also in a process to collect. Yeah.
Is climate resilient and good nutrition. So that we have collected, and with the participation of farmers, we are doing that. No. Yeah. And our future areas of this research is on the developing of these fodder varieties which will be resilient or tolerant to abiotic stresses, particularly the salinity and drought. So that is our main area where we would like to address, for particularly cultivation of the forages. Yeah. Then along with that the development of new varieties, we also have in the program of developing the new technologies which can increase the productivity at farmer level, and they are region specific, so it helps in improving the productivity at region wise. Also we have, yeah. We have seen.
There are e-learning modules created by BAIF that are available for professionals. They are accessing them. So, these are a set of partners, national partners or scientific
Yeah, like we have INRAE with us, and there are many other partners, international partners, domestic partners, corporates. Most of the, at least the all agriculture crop related ICR institutes, we have direct collaborations with them. In addition to overarching kind of understanding between two organizations, many research institutions, academic institutions in country, and of course we work with almost 80 companies, the top companies in India, for working for their CSR, and our interest is improving the livelihood of people. So we channelize that funding for these programs. So a lot of partnerships across country, and of course with outside India as well.
Thank you to you, dear Bharat, and thank you to all your teams for that brilliant and impressive presentation of all your R&D and innovation and development program. That's a good and concrete illustration of Mahatma Gandhi sentences we have at the beginning, at the end of the presentation. So maybe we could make a short presentation of INRAE, because most of you know INRAE since so many years, and now we are INRAE, so I have to give you a short explanation of that move. If you can find the presentation somewhere. Oh, yes, yes. I'm optimistic. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Okay. No. Ah, oui, it's to share with our colleagues from BAIF. Show, ouais, show hidden, show.
No, we will curtail our.
Yes, it. Here we are. So maybe just the full screen if you can. If you can, otherwise it's okay. Ah, no. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Next slide. Next. So, ladies and gentlemen, a few words on INRAE. So, as you know, maybe some of you know that INRAE, you can, it's okay for the people? They can show and listen? It's visible for, I hope so. Thank you. Thank you for the technical assistance. So INRAE is a merge of INRAE, and as you may know, INRAE is now was a long partner of BAIF since maybe 70s. And INRAE was created in 1946 to contribute to the self-sufficiency of France in terms of food. And in year 2018, that was mainly the time where I came in India for the Knowledge Summit, and I had the first discussion with BAIF at my level. In that time, we were thinking of a merge with IRSTEA, sister research organization in France, coming from CEMAGREF, and specialize in water treatment, in forestry, but also in digital technologies. And we decided to merge to create a more holistic approach show it's not the same INRA, it's a new INRAE. And INRAE means National Research Institute for Agriculture, Food and the Environment. INRA is make research. And that's also interesting for us to show the evolution from pure agricultural sciences to food sciences and environment to a nexus approach of all these things. And our vision is to make science for people, for life, and for Earth. And I think we are not so far from BAIF. So we are the European leader in research in agriculture, food, and environment at the European level, and among the leaders in the world with IRS in the United States, but also now Chinese Academy of Science and Chinese Academy of Agriculture. Next slide. So around 111,000 people. 1/3 are pure scientists. 1/3 are mixed engineers for research, but also application and trials with technical people and administrative support. It's very important for us to get the pilot farms, the field facilities. Obviously, we have also a lot of science facilities for genetics, etc., for microbiology, food processing. But we are conducting farms in all the branch, all the activities of research where we can test, as you are doing, the new innovation with the farmers. Our budget is a little bit more than 1 billion euros, and 3/4 coming from public subsidies, Ministry of Research, and 1/4 coming from contracts with public and private organization. And we are strongly involved in, obviously, in innovation. We want to make good science, but to go to impact on the field. So we are working with a lot of partners, technical research centers. Difference with ICAR in France, we are not alone. We have also technical research center, which are co-financed by farmers, stakeholders, more applied research. So you have one for crops, one for cattle, etc. And we are working with them. But we are also working with a lot of startups. Some of our scientists are creating startups and also large companies. Next slide. So we are, you can maybe, it's not so easy to see the French map, but you can see we are well presented on all the French territory. And we have 18 regional research centers and 14 scientific divisions. So on the right side of the slide, you can see crop, animal, food. So for crop, we have a specific dedicated agronomy and environment division, one on plant biology and breeding, one on plant health, really engaged in alternative of for pesticide to go out of pesticide use. You have on the animal sector 3 departments, one for genetics, one for physiology, and one for animal health. Also, food sector is well represented with a human nutrition division where Edmond is working, food and bioeconomy sciences, and also microbiology, very important. And the environment sector is represented with ecology for forestry and agriculture, a specific department for water resources. It's a new creation with the merge with IRSTEA. And then for transversal and multidisciplinary approaches, mathematics, computer science, and artificial intelligence, more and more important. And also economic and social division, and a specific department for the transition study. Interesting also. Next slide. So when we created INRAE, we decided to elaborate a new strategic plan. And after a long process of discussion with our staff, with our people from the ground up to the top management, and then with partners, academic partners, socioeconomic partners, at the end with the scientific council, with foreign partners in terms of science, and at the end of the process under my presidency by the board, we adopted a new roadmap. So we keep 5 scientific priorities and 3 policy transversal priorities. Difficult for you to read, but I can give a few words, and especially for our friends of BAIF connected. So the 5 scientific priorities, the first one is dedicated to global changes, climate, biodiversity, natural risk. How we can anticipate, simulate, modelize, how we can adapt agriculture and forestry to the big changes of environment in the next 30 years. The second priority is focused on the agroecological transition in France and in the world, how we can support it, accelerate the transition, connected with the food transition, because we are convinced that we cannot, the farmers cannot make a strong evolution of production system if the market is not going in the same direction, or it's not driving the change. So we have to combine and to connect if we want to develop pulses, leguminous, diversification of crops, new markets, new processing industry. So we are trying to do that in that second priorities. The third one is for bioeconomy, very near also your priorities, circular and circular bioeconomy approach. We know that the market and the decarbonation of the economy at the world level will be very keen of natural resources, of biomass. So there will be, and it's as already began, a strong competition between the food, the feed, the fiber, the fuel markets. And we have to imagine new routes for combining the whole, using mainly, as you are doing with your biogas plant, byproducts, waste, to produce fiber and to produce bioenergy. The fourth priority is on One Health approach. Historically, INRA was working on animal health, on plant health, and now we have also developed holistic approach of One Health, including post-corona pandemic strategy to make early detection of zoonotic disease, to work on prevention of emergence of zoonotic disease, and that's a huge priority. We have launched, maybe I will show that after, a worldwide initiative. And within that fourth priority, One Health approach, also nutrition and health, microbiota, how we can promote healthy microbiome, intestinal microbiome, the way it is connected to the good health and brain also health. It's really exciting. A lot of very good research is done in INRAE, but also at the world level. And the fifth priority, the transversal, is using the data sciences, artificial intelligence, and digital technologies to accelerate the transition of our agricultural sector and food sector. And the three transversal and we call policy priorities. The first one is to get more impact of our research through innovation, new way of conducting research, open research, participatory research, open innovation, living lab. Also support to public policies. We are trying to organize, to summarize, to make available the data coming from science to our government, but also to European Commission, European Parliament, FAO, World Organization for Health, World Bank, etc. So we are organizing that support and helping our scientists to go to speak in the public debate. The second policy priority is dedicated to partnership. Even if we can look to be a big scientific organization, we are really small compared to the huge challenges. So we have no chance to reach our goals without strengthening our partnership in France with university and school for the training of young people, but at the European and world level with the best universities, research teams, some organization like yours, and it's really strategic for us. So we are developing that strongly. And the third one is more management priority. We want to get a high level of social quality of work and quality of life for people, our staff, but we want also to reduce our environmental print. So we are launching a decarbonation plan for our own activity. Next slide. So we have also we are helped by a national program. France 2030 is a plan launched by our President Macron 2 or 3 years ago, with a huge investment plan, some billion of euros for research and innovation. And within this program, we were proposing key strategic R&D programs. They were approved by our authorities. So we will have a strategic plan on sustainable agriculture, agroecologic and digital transition, one on sustainable food and health. So with a big plan for microbiome research and also new fermentation processes. We are convinced that if we want to, you are very vegetarian in India, for sure. It's not the case in Europe and United States. So a way to increase the appetence, the interest of consumer is to make innovation on the processing of vegetables, including fermentation. So we are looking a lot on that kind of stuff. Another one will be on bioeconomy, circular bioeconomy. With all these programs are interesting for us because we are the leading organization scientific community. So sometimes that will be CNRS, CIRAD, universities, etc. But we will have the level of coordination. And then one is dedicated to the prevention of zoonotic disease, and other are dedicated to environment cycle, water cycle comprehension and prediction, carbon cycle in the near years. And the third one is on biodiversity restoration in France. Next slide. So, next slide. So Europe obviously is a key priority for us because there's a lot of financement, a lot of budget. We were pretty successful in year 2021 with a high level of success in the European Horizon Europe program. And we are on the right side. You have some examples of interesting European program. One is dedicated to the carbon sequestration. It's a way to support the 4 per mille for per thousand initiative. You are a member. You could speak of that program with Jean-François in Sharm el-Sheikh. probably. Clean Farm is a way to set up new solution in Europe for climate neutral agriculture. So we have a network of pilot farms with real farmers and sister scientific organization in Europe to test the way to go to low carbon or neutral carbon activity. And another example is a very ambitious program to go to zero pesticide agriculture. It's very challenging, a little bit polemics when you speak of that in France and in Europe, but we just are scientists, so we don't know, we don't say it's possible today, but we have to think for the future. How could we imagine agricultural system efficient with a good level of crop protection without pesticide coming from chemicals? Next slide. So at the world level, we are obviously connected with a lot of countries. We have a co-publication with 150 countries, and the intensity of color on the world map give you some indication about the first countries. It's not a surprise, United States, Europe, Australia, and China more recently, but India is increasing. So I hope the print of India will be darker in the next years. Also Brazil and Brapa, etc. We have different tools for developing that partnership. Some are memorandum of understanding, but we have also joint lab between university, foreign university, and some of our labs. So we support a 5 years program with exchange of scientists, young scientists. We have also research network. Sometimes 2 or 3 countries or 2 or 3 different universities in the same country are interested with the same topic. So it's not just a bilateral, but 3 to 4, 5, 6 partners in a network. And sometimes on the right side of the slide, we are trying to set up world research initiative. So the first good example was coming after the COP21 in Paris when we launched the 4 pour 1000 initiative. And now it is supported by European Commission, you know that. So we have a lot of partners. I don't remember if it's 100 or 200 academic partners, 200 for 4 pour 1000, 200, around 200 academic partners. For preventing zoonotic disease, we launched 2 years ago with our President Macron. It's really also interesting. It's a little bit crazy. The idea of PRESOD is to try to connect all the academic teams in the world are the most interested in prevention of zoonotic disease to exchange data on the early emergence, on the good practices, try to help forest people and agricultural people to protect biodiversity, to limit the fragmentation of tropical forest, to limit the opportunities for viruses to scale from a species to another, and to also work on the monitoring of all that. So crazy, but interesting, important for humanity. And we are up to now, it's going in a good direction. It's no more a French program. It's now we have a world organization with status, international status, and that will some support also from finance and bank. And another example is the Tsara. Tsara is transforming food system and agriculture through partnership research in Africa. And we launched that program with 25 African partners and CIRAD. We had the General Assembly in Le Cap last December. And so it's a co-construction program of exchange of scientists and some pilot also project on agroecological transition compared Europe in France. I think it's the next slide. Thank you for your attention.
Very good, and lot of alignment for us to exchange, rather receive from you the support, scientific and technological support. So thank you so much for wonderful presentation. Let me also share, like I shared already with you in the car, we have also gone through a very rigorous process of visioning exercise 2025 and 2030. And in our last year's annual report, in the front, I think, the first page itself, we have mentioned that vision 2030. Climate smart and sustainable natural resource management, climate smart agriculture for rural livelihoods, genomic selection based climate resilient livestock management, women centric development, water, sanitation and health, rural non-farm sector, livelihoods and education. This is our vision 2030. And as I mentioned, by 2025, our plan is to reach out to 10 million families through our program from current level of 4 million families.
Thank you. That's really impressive for us, that kind of figures. But when I see what I have seen this morning in terms of trials, pilot, and already results, I'm really confident on the way you will succeed and you will reach these fantastic goals.
For country like India, it is still there, right? Very small. Good challenge.
So we have another small program of signing the agreements, and that's very important program, very valuable program with a very valuable partner.
So it's worth to cut to lunchtime for that.
Very active with the sort of
Thank you very much. It's my great pleasure to welcome all of you. And as a token of love from BAIF, we'd like to offer you a jacket which is made by using sericulture cocoons, which have been produced, cocoons which have been produced by the farmers. So by using that material, we have, just, yes.
I will stop.
Second one. For ma'am. For sir. Sir as well. Thank you, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir. Chair law tikde. Light चालू कर. Light tikde. Yes, very nice, sir. एक photo. Thank you. Now I would like to request Kakde sir, Pandey sir, and for signing the 3 different agreements. We will have to switch to that place. Excuse me. Letter of intent, objective. नाही नाही ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह फक्त सांगा. ठीक आहे. एक मिनिट कळे.
Or should we change the name for that particular page as or for, can you do it for?
I mean, you can sign it. Yeah.
So you can
Present. Sir. It is glad to share with you that today we are going to sign 3 different agreements and MOUs, including letter of intent, then convention letter and overarching MOU. So first of all, I would like to request
being depicted on the
pen for you. Pen for you. Yes. So it's a great event that today INRAE and BAIF, they are signing a first document, which is letter of intent towards the climate smart and nutrition sensitive first one. Your own. With file, yeah. Thank you, sir. Now, second agreement which are going to sign. Yes. We can, yes. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Now, second, which is an agreement for the cooperation framework, which is in between INRAE and BAIF. Yeah.
This agreement will be an integral part and integrate the global approach for joint research projects, mainly within this framework of INRI Meta program. participation in international call on mitigation of agricultural greenhouse gases under the umbrella of Global Research Alliance and European Joint Program initiatives on agriculture, food security, and climate change. And the broad areas covers are genetics, genomics, and livestock crop, production system on agroecology, agrobiodiversity conservation, agroforestry, nature-based solutions, environment interface with the focus on IPM pollination, food security, nutrition, and health included in a systematic approach at the food system level, and climate change. And based on these major themes, the research areas will already identified, and that BAIF and INRAE will work on that to develop into a separate agreement for the particular research areas.
Thank you. Third one. Now, third agreement is for the convention, particularly support for the living lab. This is the third agreement, which is convention agreement, particularly for the support for living laboratories.
So BAIF and INRAE agreed to support the initiative of the Living Lab entitled Towards Climate Smart and Nutrition Sensitive Food System, which is called as like Living Lab Initiatives. So this work was started in 2018, and we want to continue the same work in the area in Karnataka. So CEO INRAE and President BAIF. So consortium of the stakeholders, including academic, industrial, and policy makers, with the consortium agreement, and the same will be continued to work in the same area, and which is under the Living Lab in Billikere, Mysuru district, Karnataka states.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I will just put the seal of BAIF. Stamps, and we'll hand over. As per your protocol. Sorry. Now. Photo.
So I just want to give a souvenir and also testimony of recognition and of friendship to your chair, your fantastic chair, Bharat. So I will show you that's the new INRAE medal. So, no, it's and if you allow, if the chair agree, I could give us to your vice chair, very involved for so many years in cooperation with INRAE. Please, yeah. So, and thanks to that cooperation, you look still very young. So all of you, if you want to see to stay young and dynamic as your vice chair, come in first.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the traditional way of greeting. This event of cooperation framework agreement between INRAE BAIF and Central Station on today's date. Same thing over here, your name printed on foundation. Your name matter about them. Yeah. I think to make a zoom.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
The last small atom.
Yes. Our digital book is in fact is signed by
Efficient task.
Thank you.
ऑनलाइन वाले आहेत का ऑनलाइन वाले आहेत या द्या. पण राजेश येते कसं आहे येते कसं lot of things on table.
नाही प्रॉब्लेम काय नाही ओपनली सांगू जे कॅरी करता येतो तो म्हणतो आणि the literature which we had given to you yesterday that is also available on website. The annual report, BAIF journal and all these booklets that is accessible. So please we will be happy to carry but don't bother. It is there. Yeah, you can leave it here because we know that you will be carrying a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Thank you. Feel free to keep it here.
Good idea. Yes.
And also the coconuts you can keep here.
Yeah, because
will not go to
probably
Correct.
to come back.
Not allowed.
Maybe we will arrest.
And our team will pack this properly so that it can go to evaluation.
Okay, great.
This will go with you.
Yeah.
This can you can carry on. This weight is not measured. That's great. One more of this. अजून एक आणा. Same. You want same or brief?
This
option is also
is possible. It's great.
This is
Okay.
possible.
Maybe that there's no problem because.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that you don't confuse the bomb.
And in fact, we forgot because it was for John Palmer also. Yeah, because it is, it has to be differentiated
Yeah,
because the
yeah,
chairs are there. So
No,
it
it's good. This one is really beautiful, but blue is very beautiful. And I was looking in
Varanasi.
Varanasi in the sea, so but just so many beautiful sarees for ladies that I was looking for something from my son because something like that. I couldn't find it. What is that? That's great. And that is coming from
our program participants.
We have a group of farmers who grow mulberry. They rear the cocoons. They come to Uruli Kanchan. It is reared by the local.
That's great. It's great satisfaction.
It is only promoted by BAIF.
That's great.
Size will be okay.
Like, what is the same? 42.
What is it? 42.
आपल्याकडे 42 नाही आहे का? असेल एक असेल. थांबा, असेल. त्याच्यावर कसं मग ते फिटर नाही त्याच्यावर फिटर
That's the new fish. No.
Yeah, now it looks very nice. You can take a picture.
So perfect. Thank you very much.
पॅक करून घे आणि हे You will have to carry this tall. You will have to carry it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So while Edmund is closing his remarks, I would take opportunity to formally connected. So formally, I would like to take this opportunity for thanking my dear Philip, Sagolin, Dr. Rock, or Edmund for coming over here, spending time with us, and with a very open heart, extending a lot of warm wishes and support from INRA. We are very serious about partnership. So we value INRA partnership not just recent past, but since beginning of the association between two institutions. And because we value it, because we are very serious, we would, and as we mentioned, there is responsibility on us, present myself and my present team, to really strengthen it further. So we will try our best to ensure that whatever efforts, whatever initiatives we have undertaken, and whatever we are going to take up new initiatives in due course, we will be very keen and we will be very serious on developing those ultimately for the benefit of public, ultimately for the benefit of small and marginal farmers in India. And whatever, if possible, whatever we can really take it from India to, say, African countries or tropical countries, our knowledge, our experience through you, we will be really happy to extend that to the same, kind of people elsewhere in the African countries or, the other southern parts of the world. So thank you once again for such a wonderful visit of yours. And we look forward to continue such exchange of thoughts And we particularly look forward to the existing initiatives in genomics, living lab, agroecology, and many more, particularly on plant genetics and also on the carbon. Thank you so much once again. Yes. Kutai, Amit. No. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amit and Varat, for spending time since morning. They have been also very supportive. Our media team, they are as good as part of BAIF family, and they have been always there to support us. They have always been able to disseminate whatever is happening in BAIF. Events like these are small things from grassroots. They are able to capture and disseminate for the larger benefit of public. So thank you, both of you, for spending time with us, and look forward, for your continued association with BAIF. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, the team who had joined virtually. Some of them may have left, but we will communicate separately to them. Thank you so much for being with us for this very important event. And thank you, CRS team, for wonderful organization of this event and program. So as usual, you have shown your abilities to organize and to manage very well. Thank you.